surprised, right? You're like, are you sure, Jeff, with your long legs and slender frame? Yeah, right. I'm not a runner. It doesn't mean I can't run. I mean, I can run, right? Like, I like to play sports. I like to run to the fridge. I mean, I can run, right? Like, if a bear was chasing me, I will run. And here's the thing. I don't need to be the fastest. I just got to be faster than the rest of my homeboys, all right? And I will be good. So, even though I don't run, I'm inspired by people who do. I'm inspired by my friends. Just in May, some of our friends and staff members where I go to church ran this 5K and this marathon, and they were all like, man, this is awesome. When I was over there, like, Jeff, let's get our student team to do it next year. And I'm like, we'll be there cheering for you, right? Because, like, nah, fam, I'm not running for 26 miles. I got other things to do. But I have a lot of respect for people who train and run. This particular story, her name is Hayden Naitek. She was running a marathon in Austin, Texas, and led the entire race until the last 450 yards when her body gave out. Here's how she finished. You can play the audio. It's okay.
You are witnessing human performance like never before. The effort. Come on, Austin. Leanne Ward comes across that finish line out of Georgetown, Texas. There she is, guys. Crossing that line. That is what we call guts, young lady. You are one tough young lady. Excellent work. Crawling the last 50 meters to the finish line. Woo.
She finished. Isn't that incredible? It's absolutely incredible. Listen, I'll rock that any day. I'm so inspired by that. You know what I love is this story, this unwillingness to quit. That's what's so inspiring. Nobody around her would have been mad at her. Her body gave out, right? She's probably trained, probably done it 100 times, but for whatever reason, this time her body gave out. People around her, dudes behind her with the wheelchair, people are like, please just, here, we'll just help you walk across. And if she'd have gave in for 1 minute, she would not have finished the race. She'd have been disqualified. But anyone looking at her would have not been upset. They'd have said, like, look, your body gave up. It's not your fault. It's not a big deal. Oh, don't crawl. You're all bloody. And you don't have to do that. You can call it quits. Just get in a wheelchair. And I love Python's spirit. She's like, no. I'm finishing. This week we've been talking about the mission. The idea that we have obstacles. And tonight I want you to think, man, never quit. Never quit. For her, it wasn't acceptable to quit. It would not be okay. It's not okay to give up. You have to finish. Why? Because it doesn't matter how you start. What matters is how you finish. Paul calls our spiritual journey here, if you have a relationship with Jesus, even if you don't, you're on a spiritual journey of some kind. And Paul calls that spiritual journey a race. He reminds us to throw off things that are setting us back. We talked about that some last night. He reminds us to stay focused. I love what he says in 1 Corinthians 9, when he's talking about our spiritual journey. He says, don't you know that runners in a stadium all race, but only one receives the prize? Run in such a way to win the prize. Now, everyone who competes exercises self-control. They do it to receive a perishable crown, but we, an imperishable crown. So I don't run like one who aimlessly or box like one beating the air. Instead, I discipline my body and I bring it under strict control so that after preaching to others, I may not be disqualified. Here's what he's saying, is that we're on this spiritual race. And, there's some physical good in running in a marathon, but he's saying from a spiritual sense, he's got to be very intentional and very disciplined because it's a difficult race and he doesn't want to be disqualified. And tonight I kind of want that to be our theme. As we talk about roadblocks, here's what we know. We know, and if we're honest, and I'm sure, man, if I were to ask every single one of you, you would share some kind of story, some kind of difficulty either you had or you're experiencing right now. Tonight, in some moments of transparency and moments of honesty, we're going to talk about how to keep running, how to keep moving forward and trusting God when everything doesn't look Instagram perfect in our spiritual life. You know what Instagram perfect is like, right? I mean, you've seen them that, like, somebody's going to have devotion, so they've got like the perfect cup of coffee, the perfect Bible with the perfect writing and highlighting that looks like they're almost like, John Calvin or some kind of theologian, right? All where that looks like the perfect sunset. I'm like, how many hours did it take you to take that picture, right? Like, no, spiritual life a lot of times is like that. By the way, why do you need everybody's approval to have a quiet time? Just have a quiet time, right? So, like, here's the point, is like sometimes it's not all beautiful. Sometimes it's muddy and yucky and frustrating. But we don't quit. Because it's not how we start, it's how we finish. How do we start this race?